After 15 years of marriage and kids, my wife had an affair, chose him over me, only to come back when he dumped her. Now she says I'm the one throwing our marriage away because I can't trust her, but am I rebuilding something real? A few months ago, my entire world tilted off its axis. My wife of 15 years, the woman I built a life with, the mother of our young children, started an affair. And not just a fleeting thing, not a one-off mistake, but something deeper. It began with thousands of texts, hours of private conversations that shut me out, dates behind my back, and eventually it became physical. A full-blown sexual relationship. The discovery was like being hit in the chest with a cinder block. I can't even fully explain how quickly everything unraveled. The moment I confronted her, the truth spilled out, and our marriage, our family, exploded. There were screaming matches, endless tears, nights spent in silence, so thick it felt suffocating. At one point, in the middle of one of our ugliest fights, I snapped. I called her a whore. I regret the word, but in that moment, it felt like the only thing that fit. It came from a place of pure rage, betrayal, and disbelief that this person I trusted more than anyone could destroy everything we had like this. We agreed to separate. It felt like the only option left after so much pain. And for a little while, there was quiet. Not peace, exactly, but a dull, heavy silence where the dust began to settle. And in that quiet, we started talking again, about us, about what went wrong. For the first time in years, we admitted things we had been ignoring. We talked about how we both let our relationship fall apart, how we had neglected each other emotionally and physically. How, somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing each other as partners and started just existing side by side. I'll admit it. Things weren't good between us for a long time. So, as much as her betrayal gutted me, I told her I was willing to try. I told her forgiveness wouldn't be easy, but if she was truly willing to fight for us, I would too. I laid down a line in the sand. It was him or me. She couldn't have both. She had to choose. And she chose him. Hearing her say that, I don't think I'll ever forget the way it sounded. Like I was being erased, like 15 years of history, marriage, children, all the sacrifices we made together. None of it was enough compared to this guy she had known for months. She told me they had built some amazing connection she couldn't just walk away from, that she wanted to keep exploring whatever it was they had. It broke me in a way I can't even put into words. But here's the thing. The very next morning, after barely sleeping, after pacing the floor, and replaying every moment of our lives together, I did something I probably shouldn't have. I found his phone number. Don't ask me how. I guess when you're desperate and angry enough, you find ways. And then I texted him. I didn't write anything noble or mature. No carefully worded plea or dignified message. Instead, I sent a sarcastic, bitter congratulations. Congratulations on breaking up a family. Congratulations on proving he was a better man than me. Good luck to the two of them. It was petty and childish, but I was lashing out. The pain inside me had to go somewhere, and in that moment, it went straight into those texts. What I didn't expect, what knocked the wind out of me all over again, was his response. Or rather, his lack of one. Turns out, he didn't even know she was still married. He had no idea about me, about our kids, about the life she had here that she was so casually dismantling. The moment he found out, he ended things immediately. Blocked her number. Walked away. And just like that, she was devastated. The man she threw our marriage away for, the man she chose over her husband, and the father of her children was gone. Cut to 2 weeks later, and things were starting to feel real. The separation wasn't just a word anymore, it was becoming a reality. She was actively filling out apartment applications, looking at places she could move into. I was staying in the house, sorting out what life would look like with me as the anchor for our kids. We had custody plans drafted, financial logistics outlined. Everything was slowly, painfully, falling into place. And weirdly enough, through all that structure, through all that planning, something unexpected started happening between us. We began reconnecting. It wasn't forced and it wasn't dramatic, it just sort of slipped in quietly when we weren't looking. We'd talk while folding laundry. We'd sit on the couch late at night, reminiscing about the early years, back when things were good and love felt simple. We laughed together for the first time in months. For a brief moment, it felt almost like we were dating again, not husband and wife on the brink of collapse. And I'll admit it, those moments pulled me in. For the first time since everything blew up, it didn't feel like we were enemies anymore. It felt like two people who had lost their way, but were still tethered to each other by something stronger than the wreckage. Then one night, out of nowhere, she asked me if she could stay. Not just stay in the house, but stay with me. Work things out. Try again. My heart leapt. I still loved her. God, did I love her? Despite everything she had done, despite the betrayal, despite the pain she had caused, I wanted her. I wanted our family whole again. Hearing her ask gave me this rush of hope I hadn't let myself feel in a long time. But at the same time, there was this gnawing feeling in the back of my mind, whispering doubts I couldn't ignore. Was she asking because she really wanted me, or was she only turning back because he was no longer an option? Was I just the consolation prize? The safe fallback? The person she defaulted to because her fantasy with him crumbled? That insecurity clung to me, but love has a way of overriding logic, so I agreed. And for a week, it was wonderful. Truly wonderful. We were kind to each other in a way we hadn't been in years. We were patient. We were affectionate. We even flirted like we used to when we were young. It was almost intoxicating, like we had rediscovered a version of ourselves that had been buried beneath resentment and neglect. For the first time in forever, I thought, maybe, just maybe, this could work. But then everything came crashing down again. 8 days after our reconciliation, I happened to glimpse over her shoulder while she was writing a text to her sister. My stomach twisted the second I saw it because there it was, him. She was talking about the other man again, saying how much she still cared for him. How upset she was over how things ended. How she still hurt over losing him. My chest burned. My ears rang. It felt like the floor gave out from under me. I panicked. And in what I fully admit was another moment of immaturity, I broke her trust. Later, when she wasn't around, I grabbed her phone. I didn't have long. 2 minutes at most. And I knew she was careful, deleting things as they came in, but what I found was enough to rip open every wound all over again. The messages with her sister weren't just idle venting, they were damning. One message admitted she regretted asking to stay and work things out with me almost immediately after doing it. Another said she could never forgive me for calling her a whore, that she could never live with someone who thought of her that way. And then there was the one that broke me the most. She told her sister there was more to the story that she could never tell me. What the hell does that even mean? More to the story? What else could there possibly be that I don't already know? And of course, her sister, the twice-divorced, self-proclaimed expert who has never been shy about disliking me, was eating it all up, encouraging her to leave, pushing her to walk away, stirring the pot every chance she got. She thrived on the drama, and from where I was standing, she was doing everything in her power to make sure this marriage didn't survive. I stood there with her phone in my hand, heart pounding, feeling like I had just stumbled into yet another betrayal. It wasn't just about him anymore. It was about her words, her feelings, the things she was hiding from me even as she was looking me in the eye. So that's where it all unraveled again. We ended up in yet another fight. Same cycle, same explosion, same bitter words, and I finally told her we needed to split and move forward with a plan we had already agreed on before all this false reconciliation happened. She cried, got defensive, accused me of twisting everything, but I stood my ground. And so, just like that, we're back in separation mode. She's once again looking for an apartment, browsing rentals, talking about deposits and move-in dates. Meanwhile, I'm staying in the house, keeping things stable for the kids. On the surface, it feels like we're just co-parents now, 2 adults sharing a space until the logistics are sorted. And yet, like before, things between us are strangely good. It's the weirdest thing. During the day, we're almost like teammates. We cook meals together, laugh with the kids, even fall into old routines like cleaning up the kitchen side by side or watching a show together at night. It doesn't feel toxic. It doesn't feel like a battlefield. In fact, sometimes it feels better than it did before the affair ever started. Like we've reset somehow, except instead of starting fresh, it's all built on the ruins of betrayal. And that's where my head gets so damn twisted. Because this time, she's flipped the script. She claims I completely misread those texts to her sister, that she was venting, blowing off steam in a private space, and I had no right to read into them the way I did. She says I took words said in frustration and turned them into some grand indictment of her feelings for me. And now, according to her, I'm the one ending things. I'm the one throwing away our marriage, not her. It's maddening. She's basically washing her hands of responsibility and painting me as the executioner of this marriage. And I keep thinking, isn't this gaslighting? She literally said the things I read. I didn't hallucinate those words. Whether or not I was supposed to see them doesn't change the fact that she wrote them. How am I not supposed to take them at face value? Especially after she's already lied to me so many times, deleted messages in real time, kept secrets, and admitted things in drips and fragments only when caught? Why on earth should I believe she meant something different from what she wrote? But then, here's the twisted part. I keep doubting myself. Because when we're together, day to day, things are so good. Like really good. Better than they've been in years. She's attentive. She's kind. We're not fighting constantly. It almost feels like we've slipped into some reverse honeymoon phase, like the collapse itself somehow jolted us back into being the best versions of ourselves. And I can't help but wonder, is that real? Is it something we could actually build from? Or is it just an illusion? A temporary high before the crash? And even when she says the words I want to hear, like promising she'll cut him off, it all unravels in my head because I saw what she wrote to her sister. She was still going on and on about him, still clinging to the fantasy of what they had. And the truth is, she still works in the same circles where she sees him, even if only in passing. He may have blocked her, but he's not truly gone. He's just paused. And what happens if one day he unblocks her? Sends a message? Reaches out for some excuse? She insists she wouldn't care, but how the hell am I supposed to trust that? And that's the core of it, trust. Or really, the absence of it. I want so badly to believe the warmth we've found again is real. I want to believe she's sincere this time. But the other side of me, the part of me that remembers every lie, every secret, every deleted text, every dagger I stumbled onto by accident, keeps screaming that it's all temporary, that I'm not her choice, I'm her backup, that I'll never be able to shake the shadow of the other man from between us. So when she looks at me now and says, "You're the one ending this, not me," I just stand there, hollow. Because maybe she's right, maybe I am the one walking away. But how do you reconcile staying with someone who openly admitted they had regrets about even trying to reconcile with you? How do you give your whole heart to someone who confessed there's more to the story that you'll never know? And then there's this other part that keeps eating at me. She started throwing my own mistakes back in my face. The times I lashed out and called her a whore in the middle of the fight. The time I snapped and texted the other guy. The way I snooped in her phone and broke her trust. She keeps lining them up like they're equal to what she did, like somehow we're standing on the same ground of betrayal. She says those things cut her deeply, that they changed how she sees me, and that I need her forgiveness too, if I expect this to work. And I don't know, something about that pisses me off. Were my actions great? No. But to me, they were reactions. They came out of a place of shock and pain and betrayal. They weren't premeditated, they weren't secretive, and they sure as hell weren't the same as sneaking around and building an entire emotional and physical relationship behind my back. But in her mind, maybe it feels just as big. Maybe it justifies her choices. And if we can't even agree on what's equal and what's not, then how can we ever get on the same page? That's where I get lost in my own head. Because emotionally, when I take a step back, I feel like I've been dealing with this better than I thought I could. I feel like maybe I could forgive her, or at least find a way to live with what happened. There are moments now where I look at her and don't see the betrayal first. I see the woman I loved for 15 years, the mother of my kids, the person I built a whole life with. And that almost tricks me into believing we could still have something worth saving. But then the slow drip of truth hits me again. Every time I think I know the whole story, something else surfaces. A line in a text. A memory she slips out. A contradiction in what she said before. And I realize I still don't know everything. I still don't know if I ever will. And that's exhausting. It's like trying to patch a hole in a boat that just keeps springing new leaks. So if she comes to me again, asking to stay, begging for another chance, what am I supposed to do? I feel like I can't say yes. Because how do you rebuild on ground that's still shifting beneath you? And yet when things are good between us, it feels so real, so alive, like maybe the storm has passed and we're finally in calm waters. But is that just an illusion? A temporary high? Or is it something real enough to try again, even knowing deep down we could end up right back here in pieces anyway?